Hey folks, today we're going to unbox some minis. All the minis, as far as the eye can see. Alright, well maybe not that many, but all the ones you see here. So stick around. Well, my knees aren't thanking me for that little bit, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And hopefully by now you know the drill. I'm Eddie G, DM Fumble, and this is Fumbling Around. I mentioned in a previous video that I just started the Shadow of the Dragon Queen campaign. So I'm actually a little bit behind on unboxing all these minis, as I hope to use some or most of them in that actual game. I have 2 bricks of minis to open, actually really 1 brick and kind of a Frankenstein. It looks like a brick, but it's actually made up of pieces that I bought from individual stores. I initially purchased the 1 brick because I was hoping that WizKids was going to put out the collector's edition, as they had done for some previous sets like Strahd, Witchlight, and Spelljammer. If you're not familiar, a collector's edition includes 1 of every mini in that particular set, no duplicates. Since there are a number of named characters in these bricks and boxes, I really only wanted 1 of each of those particular ones, so I don't really need a lot of duplicates. So that's why I was really hoping for the collector's edition. And it's kind of funny because they still kind of put out collector's editions. They send out to influencers the box that has 1 of everything, just without the fancy packaging. And I wish they would do that for retail. I don't need fancy boxes or any kind of booklets to go along with the minis, just really 1 of every mini in most cases. For this setup, a brick consists of 6 of the regular boxes and only 1 of what they're calling the super box or super booster. And that gives you 7 total boxes. In the Fizzband set, which was the last time they did a super booster, it was 6 of the regular boxes and 2 of the super boosters. For that set, a super booster only contained 1 huge figure, whereas in the Dragon Queen set, Alexa, stop. Great. Now I got her interrupting my video. And I'm hoping the 2 huge in 1 box cuts down the number of duplicate huge figures, as those are in most cases unique figures that I really only want 1 of. Remember to stick around to the end of the video, where I'm going to give you my top 5 favorite minis from the entire series, even if I don't draw them from these 2 bricks, as well as maybe my 3 bottom figures that I don't necessarily like. All right, I'm going to do a little magic, and when I come back, I'm going to have these boxes all prepped to go through and have the cameras all set up to record the details of the minis as well as my commentary. So I'll see you in a few. Okay, we're back. As you can see, I have some equipment set up here so that we can look at the minis in detail. I've prepped the minis in terms of cutting the boxes, but I don't know what's inside each box. So let's open them up and take a look. Alrighty, here's our first box of the regular minis. These are 4 small, medium, or large minis. Okay, and there we go. Get rid of that one. Alrighty, they're in the little baggies to help them stay protected. And let's see what we got here. First off, we have a nice skeleton. And just to double check, I will use my handy dandy tool. Yes, I am that old. I need sometimes to check the wording. And yes, this is a skeleton, as if the bones and lack of flesh wouldn't clue me in. It's a great mini. I have a lot of undead minis, so I'm not really in the market for more undead, but this guy has some character. I love that weapon. Definitely a brute force to encounter on the battlefield. Next up. Okay, I don't even have to look. I know who this is. This is one of the named characters. This is specific to Chapter 4 in the Shadow of the Dragon Queen. Someone your arcane characters would have to go visit if they're in the pursuit of attaining membership in the Towers of High Sorcery. Or Orders of High Sorcery. Definitely a character I was looking for. Again, a named character, so I really only need 1 of this, but as a Black Robe Wizard, I could always use more for my general Dragonlance games. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. I think we have another undead. Very nice. I love the horns on the helmet. Skeletal, full armor. Is this someone specific? No. It is a spectral. Let me double check that. Oh, it is a skeletal knight, definitely usable for some of the encounters that I know involve multiple undead. So right now we've got a nice little undead army going on and a black robe wizard. Let's see our last one for this first box. And what we have here is, I've seen this one before, this is basically a citizen of Dragonlance or a citizen of Ansalon. This is great because it can be used for NPCs, PCs, whatever you need. It's got a great cloak. I love the detail on that brown cloak and the fur trim. So you've got someone who comes from colder climates, nice variety of skin tone. Not everyone is a Caucasian, especially in the Dragonlance setting, so it's nice to see variety of skin tones. And clearly play an instrument. So you got a bard character, got a mini for you. Nope, they'll survive the fall. Okay, we're going to keep that camera going, and we're going to open another box. Okay, folks, we had a bit of a technical snafu there. The this smaller camera wasn't recording, and I'm not sure if I recorded the actual opening of the box, but I've opened the box, second box, and I don't know what these minis are yet. So again, hopefully we're worked all that out, and we're going to be smooth sailing. Okay, second box opened. I don't know what I got. Let's start looking at this red-robed character. Okay. Red robe wizard. I know this character already. It's a named character from chapter 6 or 5. I think it's 5. In the adventure, definitely someone I'm looking for. I like the fact that the character has a mask on, easily usable in other games where the character may be evil, but definitely someone I was hoping to be able to pull because I definitely need this for the game. All right, let's see who else we got here. Come on. Alrighty. Okay, this is actually someone we've seen before. So if you've seen my previous... There we go, let's get in the frame here. So this is someone we've seen before. If you've seen my previous video on the Dragon Army Warband, this is one of the same figures that we saw here. A Dragon Army soldier, I believe, yeah. So I have one set of that, so it's nice to have a couple extra of the soldier characters that we can use. And this one actually looks like a really good minting. Is that the right word? The weapon doesn't seem to be too curved out of place. I'll have to check it against the one I already have to see if the coloration is a different paint scheme or if it's just basically straight up the exact same figure. But it looks like it's the same mold. So we'll see. Hopefully it's a different paint scheme. That'd be really cool. All right, next up, our third baggie. And what do we have here? This is a smaller figure. Is this a gnome? Let's take a little look here. Okay. This is great. This is actually a generic black robe Wizard of High Sorcery. So, and again, this does look like it is a smaller size figure. So we're looking at maybe a gnome or a dwarf. But I like the idea that we've got a variety of... Got to make sure I keep these minis in the second frame as well. I like the idea that we've got a mini here. Let's get her up really close. I like the idea that we've got a mini here who is a black robe wizard. Can always use those as NPCs in the game. And again, a unique race, probably dwarf, and just a nice, fun mini to add to the collection. I don't have a lot of dwarf wizards, so in general, so can definitely make use of that. Next up, what do we have here? Yeah, so I thought this is another generic Ansalon human. So this one clearly a warrior or a ranger type. So great character that can easily be PC, NPC, however you want to put them in your game. And nice sculpt, nice presentation, very heroic looking pose. Definitely like that. I like that for, again, use in the game or just in D&D games in general. Okay, we're back. Let's look at another box. Ooh. All right, this is our first large mini that we have in these smaller boxes. And we'll pull him out right away. And what we can see here is we've got a really, really nice skeletal knight rider. So we've got skeleton knight on a nice black horse charging into battle. And I can imagine a certain Death Knight leading this particular warrior in that fight. This is a really, really beautiful mini. I like the energy in this pose from both the horse and the knight on frame. I also like some of the detail, if I can get up close enough, in that knight's armor. Really, really nice. All right, put that one down here. And then we've got 3. That'll be small or human size, or small or medium size. Let's see what we got. Okay, our first duplicate. We have another one of the warriors, or we have another one of the Dragon Army soldiers. This one has the sort of a little bit more bent than I would like. Again, I'll have to fix that, like I have to fix most of the other Dragon Army soldiers. You can check out that previous review up here. And again, I like the mini. These are definitely, don't mind having duplicates of these because they are, army builders specifically. So we'll put him over here with the other one. Let's see what else we got. Come on, check out. What do we have here? Ooh, okay. This is definitely a Knight of Solamnia. Is this a named character? No, this is just a generic Knight of Solamnia. He's got the long hair, he's got the helmet, sword, regal pose. This is going to be great if you have any PC players playing would-be or established Knights of Solamnia. Unfortunately, my game doesn't have any, so this guy will be relegated to the NPC slot for just this adventure, but I have other adventures that where he could definitely stand in for some of my players. And last for this box, shake him out. What do we got here? Oh, another undead warrior. This one is a white, and love the pose, love all the armor on him. Don't think I have a lot of whites in my undead collection, so this is definitely well needed and definitely usable. Again, we'll fix that sword. Don't worry. But otherwise, I love the blue skin, the white hair, full armor. Yeah, definitely like him. Okay, that's our third box. Let's go to the fourth one. All right, break open the top, break open the bottom. And let's see what we got. Okay, all right. This one was in the bag, so let's just go right to it right away. We've got what do we got here? It's not a shadow. It's a wraith. Yes. Love the translucent body on it. And pose, eerie wisps of its translucent undead nature swirling around. I've got a few of these between actual wraiths. And I've got a few of these between actual wraiths and shadows and other, translucent smoky black creatures I can use. So definitely usable in my collection and in my game, hopefully. Again, I'm pretty sure most of these are based on actual encounters in the campaign, so we'll hope. Alrighty, so this is another, I've already seen this one before. This is another Ansalon, human, just a generic human character. And well, just listed as a human, generic human. This reminds me of a character from the original trilogy called Maquesta Carthon. She is a sailor, pirate, if you will. And this character could easily be a pirate or a swashbuckler, definitely someone who can fill many roles, and very usable as an NPC or a PC. Love the pose. She looks like she's drawing her weapon in combat or to state her case or make her point, as it were. Nice, nice figure. I like the detail on it. Um, I'm not sure if she's a common or uncommon. I don't really follow those kind of charts. So if she's a common character, she's definitely well made. Alrighty, two more to look at. Shake out this guy. What is this? Oh, I know what this is because I've seen the artwork already. This is a special Kender that we see in the module. And, all right, well, there's going to be a spoiler here. So consider skipping like 15 seconds ahead. We're looking at a Kender vampire. Yes. This creature was originally part of the Ravenloft line of creatures back in 2nd edition, but they've brought this particular breed of creature over to Dragonlance for this adventure. I like this character. I definitely wanted one of these because I know it's a key encounter in the module, and I can't wait to see my players' expression when they encounter this particular type of Kender creature. Alrighty, one more. Okay, wow, we're really getting an army out of this guy. I don't know if there are other Dragon Army soldiers. I hope there are, because I don't want 15 of him and then one each of all the other ones that I have. But yeah, what have I already said? I like him. His blade is straighter in this version than in the other ones, so less work will be done on him. But let's try to get a little variety in here. Alrighty, put that there. All right, next box. Now, these boxes, these first 6 that I'm opening, were part of what I called that Frankenstein brick. So again, these were purchased at different stores at different times. So the fact that I've gotten 3 Dragon Army soldiers, I'm not terribly surprised about. But the fact that I haven't gotten duplicates of any of the other ones yet is a nice surprise. And of course, I've just jinxed myself for these next 2 boxes. Alrighty. So we got here. Okay. So no large figures. I think the large figures, I think the ones that they're putting in the plastic box. All right, what do we got here? Alrighty, little person here. This is a gnome tinkerer, or basically a gnome from Mount Nevermind. These guys are basically tinkerers. They're tinker gnomes. You may know them as in Dragonlance. In 5th edition, we generally just leverage the artificer class from that other book. So we've got a gnome building stuff, and this one doesn't have a name, but I'm not sure if this is supposed to represent a specific gnome that I know is in the module. So I'll check the artwork later and decide whether or not this is supposed to be that particular gnome. Alrighty, what do we got here? And again, I jinxed myself, just like I said. We have a second version of the Ancelon human. This is the pirate one, the one I really like, so I am not at all upset to get a second version of this character. Liked it the first time, like it even more the second time. Alright, who else we got? Okay. This is a named character. This is the mayor of the opening town of Vogler. This is Raven Uth Vogler, current mayor. I don't remember them statting her with a sword, probably, but I think she's mostly more of a NPC that does a lot more talking than combat. But love this pose. Definitely gives her a sense of leadership in this. Like this figure feels a little bent. Because I'm going to do a little bit of work to get her to stand up straight. She's kind of leaning over a little too much for my taste. But nice mini, nice color choice. Purple vest, my favorite color. Green pants, black boots. Alrighty, all over, good figure. And what do we have here? Okay, we have another unique one. This is a Qualinesti elf. So this is a generic version of a Qualinesti elf. They are kind of they're not the high elves of other settings. They're not the wild elves, which are the Kaganesti. They're in that middle ground. They're more likely to interact with humans, which is definitely nice to have this kind of character. This character easily can be, again, PC, NPC in any game. Green cloak. I imagine this being a very woodland type character. And I don't know if this particular character or artwork plays into any of the encounters in the module. Alrighty, like those a lot. All right, this is the last of our 6 boxes of the Frankenstein brick, I call it. So we got here. Okay. And again, let's start flattening these boxes out so I can put them in recycling, be kind to nature, and recycle. What do we got here? All right, start with this one. Come on down. Oh, okay. Definitely looking forward to this one. If you saw my review of the Draconian Warband, link to that up here, you'll know that I mentioned that there is an Arak Draconian in that set, but there is another one in the blind boxes. This is a particularly named character, and the name is going to be on the bottom. The name is Captain Hask, but it is a full-on traditional Draconian, Arak Draconian. So here's a second one to add to your collection. Definitely wanted this character because it's named, because it's in the module, and then also just to have a second or another mold, another pose for an Arak Draconian in my collection. This is a white. Another one, we already have have one previously. This is definitely, like I said, I think I don't have a lot of these in my collection, so I'm glad to have a second one. Not a problem having duplicates of this particular character. 2 more. Okay, another one of the generic Qualinesti elves that I showed just a moment ago from the previous box. Again, great character, great to have a second one, can always use it, especially in other Dragonlance games. I'm not sure how many Qualinesti pop up in the Dragon Queen campaign, since it takes place pretty far away from the Qualinesti homelands. Last one. Okay. Yep. It's another one of that special Kender that I talked about just a moment ago. This one's a little lopsided. I'll have to, again, do the hot water, cold water trick. Fix that one up right well. I don't know how many are used in the encounter that this one appears in, but if there's more than one, well, I've got more than one. And it's just also a nice little Kender that I can use for any game. I especially like the fact that it's a Kender that doesn't have a top knot. Not all Kender dress the way Tasselhoff Barefoot does. More technical issues. Well, this is how you learn. By doing and making mistakes. So again, one last comment. I don't know if the encounter involves multiple Kender of this type, but if so, I've got multiples. And again, I was talking really about how I like the fact that this Kender doesn't look like the stereotypical Tasselhoff Barefoot. They don't all have to have Hopax. They don't all have to have top knots. Alrighty, that is the 6 from the first brick, the Frankenstein brick again, I called it. We're going to take a break, download some of these files, and we'll come back. We're going to look at the next 6 from the true brick, and then we're going to get into the 2 super boosters that we still have to look at. All right, See you in a few minutes. If you're enjoying this video, I'm going to ask that you consider doing just one thing for me today. Hit that subscribe button. Don't have to hit the like and notification and all that other stuff. You can if you want, and I appreciate that. But just please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm really trying to grow the subscriber count, and it really does help the YouTube algorithm for who else to suggest this video out to. Thanks, and now back to our regularly scheduled video. Okay, folks, so now we're going to look at the actual brick of minis that I purchased for the Shadow of the Dragon Queen. And let's see what we have here. Let's see if we have any duplicates in this brick, and hopefully no duplicates from what I already purchased, because so far I got a pretty good pull, and I'm hoping to keep that streak going. Alrighty. Again, let's see what we got here. Opening it up. No cardboard or no plastic, which means we don't have a large mini. Oh well. Hopefully we'll get some of those. I don't know how many are in the actual set. I'm going to include a link to where you can see all the minis in the set, the ones we have here, as well as the ones that I don't actually get a chance to pull. So you'll be able to see each of them. Again, I'm not sure how many of them are considered large, but so far not a lot. Alrighty, let's just pick a little baggie and see what we got. Okay. This is nice. I like this figure. Let's get it up nice and close here for you to see. And then for you to see here. You're not going to be able to see this. Anyway, this is a Kender. This is wonderful. We already have the other Kender that I pulled in the first set of boxes. This one, a little bit more like what you might expect. There is a kind of a top knot going on here. Kind of a knot, head bun going on here. A long stick. Doesn't exactly look like a Hopak as I recognize it to be. But I like it. It's got this weird coloration that reminds me of Robin from Batman and Robin, with the red shirt, green shorts, and a yellow scarf that could actually be the yellow cape. So weird coloration choice, but I like having a Kender. So we got that one. Let's see what else we got here. I think I know who this is. Alrighty. Let me just double check. Okay, this is not a named character, but a generic white robe wizard of high sorcery. So wonderful that we have that. In fact, in the Shadow of the Dragon Queen book, in the early chapters where it's just going over the generics of wizards of high sorcery, there's 3 characters, and I believe these minis are all based on those characters. This is, again, the white robe. We already have a generic black robe. That was the, I believe, female dwarf that we have. Now we've got a white robe. Love the front covering with all the intricate work on that. We can zoom up a little bit. I'm not sure why my camera's jumping around here. I do apologize for the little camera. And you can see that she's holding some kind of crystal ball, scrying device, whatever. Love it. Love it. Again, very nice figure. Very well done for a generic unnamed figure. Lastly here, I know who this is. Yep, this is a named figure. One of the ones I was hoping to pull. This is known as Baccarus the Younger. This is one of the antagonistic NPCs your heroes will meet while they're still in the town of Vogler. I really could have used him in my second session. Wish I did this unboxing earlier. But great sculpt, great detail on that mini. Let's bring out another one. Alright. Again, it's all pre-cut. Ooh, I hear and I see a little hint of plastic. It means we're going to get a large figure. I'm intentionally not looking down. I like the idea of the Christmas Day surprise. So let's see what we got. All right, let's flip it over. Oh, okay. Put these aside. And we will do our best to pop it out without hurting it too much. This is obviously not a person. This is a device. This is called the Gnome Flinger. And this appears in that early chapter when everyone's still in the town of Vogler. And it was literally designed by the gnomes of Mount Nevermind so that you can fling not just gnomes but people as well through its little basket some great distance, and hopefully the PCs survive, or NPCs or whoever might be the victim or the test subject or just the person looking for a fun ride on the gnome flinger. Yes, this was definitely one of the ones I was hoping to pull, especially as I might be able to use this in the upcoming sessions of that campaign. All right, who do we have next? This is another generic Ansalon character. Again, all right, come on. What do we got in here? All righty. So this is a sack of purple worm eggs. If you can see up close in the detail, you can see some of the detail underneath the what looks like a membrane or a transparent sack of all of the hundreds, maybe, of different little tiny eggs that are in here. Don't know where this falls in the campaign. I believe I had read that this was supposed to be an encounter that was later cut from the book, but they still made a mini from it. And I think you can still get the map for this this cut encounter off of Mike Shelley. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, who did the artwork for a lot of the maps, not all of them, but a lot of the maps in the adventures. So you might be able to get that map, get this miniature, and maybe build an expanded encounter. That's what I know I'm going to try to consider now that I've got this piece. All right, last one. Another one of the generic Ansalonian citizens. Again, this is the one that I think looks like the pirate. It's 2 boxes, 4 more to go before we go into the 2 big super booster boxes. I still have the one from the Frankenstein brick to open, as well as the one from the True brick to see what we got here. Okay. Open it up. Flatten it out so we can recycle easy. Recycle. Actually, while I have a moment here, one of the things I actually use these for is for if I'm doing dry brushing. I'll put paint on here, and it makes it a little bit easier to get paint on my dry brush without getting my dry brush too dry, which is actually seems like a misnomer, but it actually is one of the secrets to getting really effective dry brushing. So I'll often use these slick outside parts of the packaging to do my dry brushing and then discard them when I'm done with them. Maybe I'll do a video. I don't feel like my painting skills are really that great. Anyway, recycle, reuse, and reduce, as they say. Okay, next up, what we have here. Okay, another one of these whites. We have here. Ooh, yeah. So again, this is the Captain, what's his name again? Captain Hask? Yeah, Captain Hask. This is the Aurak Draconian. So it's interesting, I now have 2 of this named Aurak Draconian, but only 1 of the generic unnamed version from that warband. Next up. Oh, okay, this is a named character. And this is... see exactly how to pronounce his name correctly. This is Caradoc. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. If you're familiar with the Tales of a Certain Death Knight, you know that Caradoc is his seneschal, I believe is how it's pronounced, and an important agent for that Death Knight. This is one of the forms he takes in the module, so definitely glad I got this figure, and definitely glad I got him early before he makes his appearance in the module. All right, what's the last one we have here? Oh, come on out. All right. Okay, so again, we have another one of the generic Black Robe Wizard. All right, our 3rd box. Let's crack it open. Then we got 3 more of the little boxes and 2 of the super boosters. Really looking forward to those. Ooh, plastic. All right, we're going to have a big fig, or a large figure. Okay, let's flip it over. What do we have here? Oh, okay. Take it off gently. Check this out. Goodbye. Okay, might seem just kind of generic, but it's a war horse. Now, we have a lot of horses. I'm not sure if we have a lot of Warhorse figures, I know I don't, in my personal collection, have big, beefy, armored stallions like this. This actually is something I wouldn't mind getting a few more of. All right, we'll put her back. And the other three from that pull. Spent so much time gushing over the Warhorse, I forgot there's 3 more. Okay. Ooh, yes. This is another named figure, Cudgel, someone that the party will meet in Vogler. She is important for a number of reasons to the story. Wish I had her in the last session, but definitely have her for the next session where she plays, I think, a little bit more important role. So nice to have her on board. My hair is just crazy. Get back in line. All right, what do we got here? Oh, nice. Okay. Not a named figure, but a generic sea elf. Sea elves in Dragonlance, and I think most other settings, have a blue tinge to their skin, as this one does. Nice kind of leather, or maybe even like a shark skin. I'm not sure what his pants are supposed to be made out of. White staff here, spear. Is it made out of the bone of a shark or a whale or something like that? We're not sure. This is great. I was definitely hoping to get one of these. They play an important role much later in the chapters. I even saw that WizKids put out an Unpainted Sea Elf 2-pack, neither of which match this skull. I've picked those up, and I plan on painting them to have, a bit more variety in the Sea Elves that I'm able to present. Definitely would look forward to maybe getting another one of him in one of the other boxes. Lastly, what do we have here? Oh, okay. This is beautiful, translucent blue figure who you meet early on in a way. I'm really trying to avoid spoilers. I'm sorry. She is an important character. She's a named character. I'm not going to tell you her name. Spoilers. So definitely glad to have this figure. She plays a much more important role, I believe, in chapter 4 or 6. I'm not sure where. But well ahead of schedule of where I'm at. I'm really only at beginning of chapter. I'm in the middle of chapter 3, which is really the start of the adventure. Chapters 1 and 2 are a prologue that gets the player world background and gives the player the stuff to build their characters. So chapter 3 is where the adventure starts proper. Very nice to have her. She will be very useful. All right, 2 more boxes. Let's see what we got in here. Open it up. Someone's rattling around. It sounds like someone got out of their little baggie. All right. Did someone get out of the baggie? Yes, they did. All right. Who escaped? Of course, it's one of those dastardly black robe wizards. Escape the little baggie that keeps you safe and sound. I now have 3 of her. Pretty sure she's a dwarf wizard. Just love that. And in other games, non-D&D or non-Dragonlance games, she can easily just be a dwarf, cleric, whatever you want to do. Dark robes could just be any dwarf who's used to being underground. So a lot of variety I think you can really leverage that figure with for Dragonlance and non-Dragonlance games. Okay, who do we have next? Shake out. Another one of these warriors. So I had said previously that I thought he was the same mold as one of the figures I got from the Dragon Army Warband. Turns out he is not. So let me pull the one I have. While I was getting ready for this, I went and pulled the figure. So this is the figure from the Warband. This is the figure from the blind box we just pulled. You can see the poses are almost the same. The tabard is almost the same. The shield and where the weapon is very similar. When you come to the back here, you can see that this part of the tabard is kind of going down flat for the Warband version, and this one's kind of flaring out for the blind box version. So they are 2 separate molds, just very, very similar in pose, paint scheme. They both have a beard, almost the positionings. 3 feet away, you might not even realize they're separate. And I didn't realize it until I literally put them together and saw just enough discrepancy to realize, oh, they are 2. Anyway, the ones that we're getting from the blind boxes are a different pose. Who do we have here? Oh, sorry. All right. It was only a short fall. No loss of hit points. Okay, so again, this is the named red robe that I mentioned earlier. Important to the story in a number of ways, especially for your wizard characters, as well as just, completing the adventure. Nice to have that. Demlin wears a mask covering their face. I could see using this figure, especially now that I've got multiples, as some kind of death cult in another game. Even in another Dragonlance game, I could easily make them, clerics of Shemesh or whatever I wanted to do there. So having multiples, even of a named character, is not that bad, especially because I can leverage it in other D&D games or other Dragonlance. And next up. Okay, this is, just another generic Ansalon citizen. We already have at least one of these, I believe. Now we are on our last regular box. So we've got 4 more large, medium, and small minis to look at, and then we'll get to the huge from the super box. All right, no plastic, so no large figure. Come on out. Go in there. Okay, let's just pick one. Open up. Who we got? All right, there's that little Kender we saw before. We now have 3. Again, I hope we don't have 3 of this in the actual encounter, because that could be rough for my party. Who do we have here? We have... Oh, I know him. He is a named character. Jayev Uth Veldris. Or Veldruz. Okay, that's a lot of name. Again, named character, important early on. The players don't meet him until the second half of the chapter that they're currently in. So he will be important in the next session or the session after that, depending on how far they go. But definitely glad to have him. I have some ideas to how to keep using him throughout the campaign. Okay. 2 more. You can see already through the bag that we have another Kender. The Hopak is woefully mispositioned, so I'm going to have to do the hot water, cold water trick and to get that back in shape. I have to say I don't like the paint scheme on this. It calls out too much Robin from Batman and Robin. Don't like the idea of actually having to repaint minis that are already pre-painted. I mean, I'm paying a premium price for it to already be done. May have to break down and do a little bit of adjustments to soften up some of those colors. Maybe if I just paint over the yellow, we'll see. Oh, yes, nice. Okay, I was hoping to get a second or third, but we're only going to get a second because this is our last small box. Another one of the Sea Elves. Oh, great. Got him. I actually got a figure from Gen Con. It was one of those paint and take things, and it was an elf that I was painting. And just on the spur of the moment, I realized, hey, let's make this elf a sea elf. So instead of, I was getting ready just to do the regular, elven fair skin tones. And I was like, oh, I know what the sea elves look like, light blue. Let's go paint some up. And I know they had white hair like this one has. I've seen this figure. I've seen this artwork. So I started painting that figure up there. So in addition to the other ones I have one that I just painted on my own. And I got a couple of these pre-painted ones. So hopefully I'll have a nice, well-rounded sea elf band when they come into the module. All right, we are done with those. Hopefully, when I open up the Super Boosters, the name on the bottom is big enough. These are huge figures. Super Booster. We get 2 figures. I'm not sure how they're arranged. I haven't even looked inside. We get 2 figures in here. Like I said before, in the Fizz Bands, the Super Booster was 1 figure, and you got 2 per brick. Hoping that there are no duplicates in this box. That's why I hope that they did it. And again, if it holds true, I'll be glad. It'll be definitely worth it to have that. The price was really the same for what these were charging for as a single large, huge figure versus the 2-pack of huge figures, relatively. Yes, a lot of talking. I need some water. Yeti, not a sponsor. I have no sponsors, please. But they're the best. Okay, let's open it up. Opens up this way, so open it up. I'm going to keep my eyes up. I'm not going to look. I'm going to treat it like Christmas Day, and I'm going to pull out a piece. Okay. Another piece. Okay. And then let's pull out the figure. Let's pull out the... Okay. So, we got the plastic. Move the box. We got the plastic kind of sandwiching these two figures in. Okay. So, these are wings. Didn't think I'd need extra cutting utensils once I opened up all the box lids. Okay, what do we got here? Okay. Yeah. This is, yeah. Okay. Big, huge base. Still, tiny writing. What do we got here? We have a young green dragon. All right. So, this is a huge base, but if you look closely, the white ring actually means that this is a large creature. These wings, not sure exactly how they fit. Looks like they fit this way. Not going to put it in all the way. You're going to get the idea. It's a little bit of a sprue still on here, but that actually isn't even fighting to come off. Okay. Yep. And let's get him. Okay, so yeah, this definitely goes on this side. Get in there. Okay, I'm not going to fight with it too much. You get the idea. We've got a young green dragon with wings spread wide. This is a wonderful, wonderful creature. Menacing face. Oh, I love that. Hands, claws, stretched out, ready to attack. I'm actually painting a green dragon. I've been painting it for, well, way too long. Maybe I'll use this as more reference material to get me to finally get that figure done. The only thing I don't like about this is that I'm pretty sure this is not the correct size for a young green dragon. I know that WizKids has been kind of oversizing some of their figures, especially their dragons. Again, putting them on larger bases and showing you, well, really it's a smaller base, that kind of thing. This is a great figure, and if it menaces my players and scares my players, then it's doing its job. So there's that. And we have, is it a blue? It's not just a blue, it's actually a named figure. It is one of the antagonists, obviously, it's a blue dragon, in the later chapters. Not going to reveal its name because I'm not sure what the players know about this particular creature. And when they find this out. So again, huge base, but really it's a smaller size, a larger creature. Again, love that it's got the wings furled out. Love the coloration on the wings. Love that face with the big giant horn sticking up. You can see it looks like he's got weapons sticking out of his head, or is that some kind of crown he's wearing? Probably a crown, because he is I think a high-ranking person in the, or high-ranking figure, not a person, high-ranking figure in the Dragon Army. So it looks like he might be having a crown. A very nice, menacing figure. I can't wait to see my players react to this on the table. This is our last Super Booster. Let's see what we got. Please don't give me any of those guys. Please don't give me any of those guys. Give me something original. All right. Not looking, not looking. What do we got here? My greatest fear. Okay, move this aside. The exact same ones. Very usable for just regular games. If I want to do a high level play where I've got multiple young green dragons or multiple blues, I can easily fit them in. But for this game, especially the blue, who's a named character, I'm not sure that I'm going to have a lot of use for that. There was a lot of other figures I was hoping to pull from a Super Booster. Don't know if I want to chase them down online on the secondary market, The ones that are available are kind of expensive. Could have had a better Christmas, but overall, very good. In general, I'm really glad with what I pulled. I got a lot of unique figures, only a few duplicates. The ones I did get, I feel like they're great army builders. I got literally, Dragon Army war soldiers. I got, the white couple of those. I got the couple of the sea elves that I was hoping for. So a lot of that's in place. A lot of the unique named characters I do seem to only have one of or two of, not 5 or 6. So that turned out pretty well. Love the 2 dragons, just not necessarily 4. There's a lot of other huge figures I was hoping to get. One of those is a figure called a boiler drake, and it's important for the upcoming session or the session after that. And next week's video or the video after that, I'm going to show you how I've already planned to create a kind of a token for the boiler drake that I'm going to be able to leverage for the combat when it comes into play. I was going to have to maybe do the same thing with the gnome flinger, although it's not really that important of a piece. But the boiler drake I really feel is. So I've already started prepping that art files and things like that. So I'm going to show you how I build it out. Our first crafting class, either, like I said, next video or the video after that, depending on how things go. I did say I was going to tell you the top 5 favorite figures from the entire set, as well as maybe like the 3 lesser figures. Let's go with the 3 lesser figures because I have them here. I'm going to go with these guys. All right. First honorable mention is the Dragon Army Soldier. Honorable mention because his mold is so similar to an existing one, but not the exact same one. So why did you do the work to create something that can easily be mistaken from 3 feet away on a game table? Honorable mention. Overall, I really do like the figure, but should have done a little bit more variety. Give him just a different weapon. You can easily do that and maybe make it stand out a bit more. I had a hard time picking figures because I really do like the quality and the distribution of what I got. But I did pick the skeleton. Like I said, I have got a crazy amount of undead figures because I've been collecting these pre-painted ones all the way back to the original pre-painted Harbinger set, all the way back in, I don't know exactly when. Maybe I'll put something on the bottom line here telling you when that first set came out. Got a lot of undead. I can easily field multiples, as well as undead I've scrounged from other board games and other things like that. Maybe I'll bring some of those out sometime. And love this figure, really do. But I've got so many undead, not necessarily something I needed in my collection. This one, this is the Wraith. Love this figure. Again, I've got a lot of smoky translucent figures. I've got a lot of figures that are either wraiths or shadows that can fill the bill if I want to. This one has great detail. Up top, looks like he's got a crown. I'm not totally sure. So obviously, I'm going to have to get the magnifying glass out and take a peek. Yeah, he's got a crown on. He even has 2 yellow eyes peeking up at you. So that's kind of new. Most of the other ones I have in my collection are just, translucent, smoky black. That's it. That's all you get. This one has a bit more sculpt to it. Even just 2 little eye dots, a little bit of a paint process to it. So, but again, I don't really necessarily need more of this type of undead. Last one, and this would be my number 1 least favorite, is the Kender. I love the idea of having more Kender. I love the idea of having Kender that don't look exactly like Tasselhoff, but the paint scheme, yellow, red, green, somebody just opened up their favorite Batman comic book and called it a day. And again, that Hopak or whatever the staff here is just, it is supposed to be a Hopak. This little bottom part here was supposed to be the pouch that holds the sling stone. And then again, maybe doing a repaint. Okay, so that's my 3 least favorite. What are my 5 favorite figures? Alrighty, let's go take a peek. We've got honorable mention, Draconian. Always like having more of these. I now have 2, so that's great. Again, he is a named character. He does have a bit of a role to play in one of the later chapters. So I'll be using this figure for that, but I'll be glad to put him in the collection. The other thing I like is that some of the other Draconians I have are just straight up magic users. They're holding like flaming spheres, things like that. This guy is definitely more warrior in his outlook. And I think maybe it's kind of how they changed the Draconian design in 5th edition with the Fizban's book. They're not necessarily considered the primary magic user. That's more the Bozaks. And these guys are considered more the masterminds, so they can be more tactical in combat as well as maybe in magic use. Honorable mention, in no order, this character, I know she's important. I really, really like having this really light translucent blue. She can easily play Ghost, Banshee, whatever else I might need. Doesn't look very threatening, which is nice, so she can be, alluring until, she turns on the party if I'm using her in another game. Otherwise, I do like this figure. One of my top 5. This is just the generic Knight of Solamnia. I love this guy. Again, great for a PC NPC. He's got that long hair, the mustache, which is typical of Knights of Solamnia, the helmet, all of the detail on his armor, which would be very, very in line with what a Knight of Solamnia would have. Love that figure. This guy, the charging skeletal knight. Talking about another warhorse, but, there's a skeleton on top of it. Like this one, great pose, great energy. I can't wait to figure out where this figures into the combat. Wish I had more of these. Anyway, love this guy. That's my 3. Beyond these 3, I would say that the Boiler Drake, because it is so important to the upcoming battle, that's definitely one of them. And there is a Treant that I've seen the images of, liked it, was hoping it was one of these, but it was only going to be, I had a 1 in 4 shot of getting that. I really like that figure as well. Beautiful detail. That's one of the few I might try to get, even though I don't think it's critical to the module, especially in combat purposes, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful figure to have and can be leveraged across any other games. Okay, so there's my top 5. 3 that I have, and then 2 that are available if you look at the minifigure gallery. I'm going to include that link in the doobly-doo. All right, trying to get comfortable saying that. I mean, anyone can say it, right? Sure, me? All right. Anyway, so hope you've enjoyed looking at the minis that we pulled from the 2 bricks of the Shadow of the Dragon Queen. A lot of these figures I'm going to be able to leverage in my campaign, so overall, very, very happy with what I have. Hopefully you've enjoyed looking at some minis with me. And with that, cheers. Until next time. Okay, I'm back. So you clearly noticed something that I didn't notice until just now as I was trying to wrap up my filming, which is that this camera right here was never turned on. So all the figures I've been trying to show you in detail up here have not been recording, and that means most of these, obviously you saw what those guys look like. I guess maybe I will pull figures from the online mini gallery to supplement what I pulled here, because I'm not sure what you're going to be able to see. I apologize. Obviously, we are still learning the technology, and yeah, I had to double check to make sure the microphone was on. That would have been a real kicker. Hopefully we've got something usable out of this second half of the unboxing. Cheers. Until next time. Okay. Have a good night. Have some fun. Go play some D&D. I know I am. Pretty soon.